Nico Williams, Marcus Rashford, Roony Bardghji, Joan Garcia. Add this to the existing players in the team. Lamine Yamal, Raphinha, Pedri, Robert Lewandowski, Jules Koundé, Alejandro Balde. All of these names mean one thing. This Barcelona team for 2026, it's as scary as it gets. Hansi Flick won everything in Spain, and now he wants to win everything again. The 2024-25 season was incredible for Barcelona. They didn't just win, they dominated teams. 44 wins in all competitions. No team in Europe's top 5 leagues managed more. 174 goals in all competitions. No team in Europe's top 5 leagues managed more. But one competition stood out as a reminder. The defeat in the Champions League semifinal to Inter Milan. That defeat taught Hansi Flick a lesson. It wasn't just enough to have the best attacking force in Europe. He needed more. He needed something unpredictable, something dynamic, someone who could open up a new system to his attacking football in Barça. And that's where this Spanish wonder kid comes in. Nico Williams. Anyone who watched him at the Euros last year already knows he's a certified baller. But it's more than that. It's more than just watching Nico Williams. The truth is, ever since he made his big break back in the 2022-23 season, Nico Williams has become one of the most exciting wingers, not just in La Liga, but in the world as well. Think about Barcelona last season. Yes, that front three was insane. Yes, Raphinha had 55-plus goal contributions last season. But the thing is, Raphinha did his damage by leaving that right wing slot and moving into central positions and half spaces, instead of truly acting like a winger. With Nico Williams, it's a different proposition. For one, he's a traditional winger. Once he cuts inside, it more often than not always spells danger for the opposition. But that's the other thing with Nico Williams. He's that unpredictable that if you think stopping him from cutting inside to his right does the trick, he can go the other way with his left. He's very two-footed and is comfortable going either way in R. He's added end product to his game too. 42 goal contributions in 96 games across the last 2 seasons. For a kid who is still only 22, these are more than decent numbers. These are signs that he will get better and get more numbers in the years to come. But right now, the obvious standout with Nico Williams is how electric he is with his dribbling.
You'll probably get confused searching for the most dribbles in La Liga last season and seeing Nico Williams in 7th place with just 84. But this is an underlying stat. I'll tell you why this is in a sec, but first, see that subscribe button to Football Historia? Hit it if you haven't yet for more videos and the latest updates, like this. The truth is that dribbling right now is his most impressive asset. He's probably not as refined as Lamine Yamal yet, but when it comes to one-on-ones against fullbacks, Nico Williams is very deadly. Plus, he'd stop at nothing too. Nico Williams is a high-volume dribbler. By this means, he averages around 10 dribbles per game. In fact, since the turn of the decade, only Vinicius Jr. with 335 dribbles has completed more than Nico Williams, second on the list, with 267. He made his first team big break in 2022. That says a lot. It's also important to mention how much his pressing becomes a big asset for Barcelona. Hansi Flick praised Raphinha multiple times last season. What's better than having one winger who can press?
Having two! On the general picture for Barcelona, Nico Williams is a win-win. He's not only bringing the qualities we've mentioned above, he also solves something else. Squad depth. For a club that won everything in Spain, doing it with just 2 actual wingers last season was insane. Doing it with just 2 actual wingers who are both right wingers, even more insane. With Nico Williams, Barca has a left winger who can play as a traditional left winger. It also means his addition allows Hansi Flick the chance to rest and rotate for big games. Raphinha played the most minutes out of any Barcelona player last season with 4,661. The point here is that having another player in that position who can be equally as productive means less workload. That squad depth is big for Barcelona. That's also the reason why, despite signing Nico Williams, they're in for another attacking wing threat again. Marcus Rashford, a very confusing figure in football, but in this context for Barcelona, he could become a solution. The first thing Rashford adds to this squad is depth. Just like Nico Williams, getting Rashford in means Barcelona has another option in a position where they were short-staffed last season. Again, it almost feels like a miracle that neither Raphinha or Lamine Yamal was out on a long-term injury last season. When Lewandowski got injured, the only cover was Ferran Torres. In situations where 2 of that front 3 have to miss out, it becomes a problem. With Marcus Rashford, it's a problem that can be solved. He can play either left wing, or even centrally if he has to. The fact that Barcelona would most likely get him on loan adds up as well. Rashford has made it clear he wants to join Barcelona this season. Link up with Lamine Yamal? It could be coming soon. Yes, there's been talk about Rashford's form and whether or not he's good enough to play for Barcelona, or whether his style suits the team. This is true. But one thing that can't be denied is Rashford's talent. The loan move to Aston Villa was a subtle reminder of the kid who burst onto the scene in the 2015-16 season. When he's on his game, he's electric. He can take on players, force the issue, and make chances on his own. He can score goals, he can provide assists. He had 20 goal contributions in 41 games last season. For a player who revived his career at Villa after a January move, this isn't bad. It plays into Barcelona's hands more when you realize Rashford is eager to join the club. He'd know he can't expect the same monster wages he's got at Manchester United, a lower salary, fixing the squad depth issue, and getting a player who on his day is unstoppable. Barcelona can't stop winning. And in the same way, they're securing future talent as well.
One more signing for Barcelona future. Roony Bardghji is set to sign the club on a €2 million deal plus add-ons and sell-on clause for this talented winger.
Roony Bardghji. And just in case you're wondering who he is, Manchester United could help with that. Crazy to think how this was 2 seasons ago, and Roony Bardghji is still only 20 years old. It's clear with Bardghji that Barcelona is signing a talent for the future. One they know will need time to develop. The kid is very talented though. In the 2023-24 season, he had 10 goals playing for FC Copenhagen's youth team as a 19-year-old. The kid is ice cold too. Imagine scoring a Panenka as a winning penalty in a cup final. Still only 19? Crazy. He's still the youngest player to score for Copenhagen. He's a very tricky winger too. Difficult for fullbacks to deal with because he keeps the ball and maintains progressive carries. He's not exactly fast in terms of speed. Think of him as a winger who relies more on his feet and the ball doing the running than speeding past fullbacks down the flanks. Still, he's very talented. The youngest player to score against Manchester United in the Champions League. Youngest player to score for Copenhagen in the competition as well. There's enough reason to believe he'd have been making even more waves if not for the ACL injury in the 2023-24 season that ruled him out for 11 months. He's on his comeback path now. At 2.5 million euros for what he could potentially become, Roony Bardghji to Barcelona could end up becoming a steal. Attacking talents have grabbed the headlines with Barcelona's additions this season. But it's not just attackers Hansi Flick has been after. At the back, he's found what could be a fix to a problem that's been underlying at Barcelona for years. Joan Garcia from the other side of Barcelona, Espanyol. There are a lot of positives with this transfer. First, Barcelona has added proven quality in that goalkeeping position. He made 146 saves in La Liga last season. No other goalkeeper managed more. In fact, in Europe's top 5 leagues, only Brentford's Mark Flecken had more saves than Joan Garcia. He had the 3rd save percentage in La Liga with 73.71%. Compared to other goalkeepers in La Liga, Joan Garcia was first for saves and shots conceded. That's a goalkeeper's job. Pretty decent. But there's something else about Joan Garcia that makes him an incredible addition to this Barcelona team. Amongst La Liga goalkeepers, he ranked first for the most line exits and interceptions, ranked first for the most aerial duels won, had a passing accuracy of 66.9%. So what does all of this mean? Well, we know how Hansi Flick wants his Barcelona team to play, particularly from defense. With the high line and risk they take overloading the opposition's half, the team needs a goalkeeper who can do the dual job of saving shots and being excellent on the ball. That's Joan Garcia. I mean, he was voted into the La Liga Team of the Season playing for Espanyol. That says something. His saves were a big part of Espanyol escaping relegation last season. He's also decent at penalties as well. Saved 2 last campaign. Big game performances against Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. This would be particularly pleasing to Barcelona fans. He's not just coming in as an addition. With the way this looks, he's coming in to be number 1. Meaning Ter Stegen is expected to go the other way. I mean, credit to Ter Stegen, he was at some point in his Barcelona career a reliable member of the first team. But with Ter Stegen, you're also dealing with a guy who has played his part in Barcelona's Champions League exist in recent years. The new signings look amazing, but what makes this team even more dangerous is a coming in and add to the quality they've already got. Raphinha was sensational in 2024-25. He was putting up Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi type numbers last season. 59 goal contributions in 57 games.
Hat tricks against Bayern Munich and Real Valladolid. He scored in 3 separate games against Real Madrid. Top scorer in the Champions League last season. Simply put, he was unplayable at times with so many big moments in big games. But it's crazy to think how he did this by reinventing himself under Hansi Flick. In what should have been Raphinha playing out of his preferred position, playing on the left wing when he's left-footed, Raphinha was able to find half spaces in central areas to become an incredible goal threat. This allowed him to combine his best attributes, his pressing and ability to pick up dangerous positions and put him closer to goal. Insane just seeing the numbers Raphinha put up again, a Ballon d'Or contender, just like the other kid on the right.
Lamine Yamal.
Honestly, with this kid, you tend to run out of words with how good he is. He's doing what elite wingers get to dream of in their primes. Goals and assists. He had 43 goal contributions in 55 games, but the goals and assists don't even tell half the story with Lamine Yamal. Dribbling, he was unmatched in La Liga. He had 145 dribbles last season, the most in the league. 63 clear of Kylian Mbappe in second place. That gap is insane. What's better with this particular metric? If we extend this to include wingers from Europe's top 5 leagues, Lamine Yamal is still top. Second place is Jeremy Doku with 90. Once again, it's a wide gap. And there's the stuff the stats don't measure. This, disgracing fullbacks disrespectfully. He just slashed Federico DiMarco's price tag in half with that one. Or how he backed up his talk with actions consistently against Real Madrid. He said they couldn't talk until they'd beaten him. Then went out and scored this in El Clasico.
The balls on this kid? They're huge. In all of this, Lamine Yamal is still only 17.
For context, in the next 10 years, if we follow the average progression of the average footballer, he's supposed to be almost 6 times better than what he is now. Then you consider that Lamine Yamal isn't normal. Also, consider that in 10 years, Lamine Yamal will be 27, entering what could be the prime of his career. Just thinking about this alone is mind-blowing. You get the same reaction watching Barcelona's midfield genius pulling the strings as well. Hansi Flick figured out the secret to making Pedri stay fit. He managed his game time last season. In turn, Pedri delivered performance after performance. That's now getting him tipped as an outside favorite for football's biggest individual award. Gone through a couple of Pedri versus other midfielders in La Liga metrics, and it's abnormal. Get this. He ranks first amongst midfielders in La Liga for the most touches, the most key passes, the most expected assists, most progressive actions, most progressive carries, most successful dribbles, most forward passes, most passes attempted and completed, most short passes, long passes, and through balls attempted and completed. There's more, but I'll stop the list right there. This is an indicator to show that Pedri has been in a league of his own this season. The rest of the team too. There are players in there who put out big statements last season. Robert Lewandowski was labeled finished. He responded with 42 goals and 3 assists last season, his highest tally since he joined Barcelona. Frenkie de Jong was in and out of the team. He responded by coming into his own and showing how versatile he could be, particularly as a roaming midfielder alongside Pedri. He looked like the player Barcelona bought from Ajax all those years back. Players like Cubarsí and Balde in defense. Jules Koundé is the solid option at right back. Inigo Martinez continues to defy age in modern football, Wojciech Szczesny coming out of retirement to complete a domestic treble with Barcelona. La Masia talents like Marc Casado and Fermin Lopez with big contributions last season. All these players and the new additions is what Barcelona is taking into 2026. Imagine having to deal with Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams on one team. Figure that out and have to figure ways to handle Pedri's magic in midfield. Good luck trying to stop Raphinha and Lewandowski from scoring goals. Or beating the offside trap with a solid back four and the new goalie Joan Garcia. The truth is, this Barcelona team is set to dominate for years to come.
But in the same way, their classical rivals haven't been sleeping either, particularly in defense.
They've signed one of the brightest young center backs in the game now. Dian Hushin is already proving himself to be a solid option for Real Madrid at the Club World Cup. But who the hell is he? You can find that out by clicking the next video.